Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to your Wednesday episode. How the heck are you guys?
How are you guys? How's it going?
You made it to the middle of the week already. This week is halfway over when you get this, which seems like so far in the future. It's insane. But we are here to talk about a few different shows. Vanderpump Villa, we won't be covering the most recent episode just because we had to tape this episode a little bit earlier and the show didn't come out yet. But we will be covering both episodes next week. So just check back for that. Plus, we have Abbott Elementary that's back and we wanted to give it the proper coverage. So, I mean, there's just a lot to get into. So, obviously, it is Wednesday. We got to start with our Black Excellence of the Week award. Aaron, you can go first this time because I went first last time.
Okay, mine is going to go to Tinashe because by now, if you have not seen the Nasty video, you need to go see it. She just dropped a new song. She announced the second part of her album, which is going to be called Quantum Baby. And if you're a Tinashe fan, you already know this. And if you're not, this is something that you really need to get into because we got
Tell
choreography.
Us about the multiple parts. Yes. You said that this is the second part of her album.
This is the second part. So it's divided into two parts. The first part is Baby Angel, normal Baby Angel, and then the second part is going to be Baby Angel, Quantum Baby. So it's going to be two parts to this album. And I know a lot of people were like, it has to be two parts because the first part was so short. It was like 7 songs.
Oh, that's like a freaking, was it an EP?
Right. It's like 6 to 7 songs, in which I do like it. And I think more artists should actually do that because it gives listeners a chance to like really pay attention to the first half so they can take in all the songs and then actually enjoy them. Because some songs, when somebody drops a whole album, you're like, unless it's Beyonce, you're like, oh, I might like 3 or 4 songs, but I'm not listening to all of this shit.
That's me right now with We Still Don't Trust You. Like, I like We Don't Trust You, but I just finished listening to We Don't Trust You. And they just dropped We Still Don't Trust You. And I'm like, I love Metro Boomin. I love Future. I love, anyone that they feature with is going to be a hit, whether I like them or not. I was taken aback because obviously on the first one, we had that Kendrick Lamar verse that started an all-out war that ended up, J. Cole ended up responding and then he apologized. And then we find out that he's on the second part, which is We Still Don't Trust You. So it just feels like there is a lot happening. And mind you, this album is like 20 songs, if not that. And there's a lot of sneak disses, there's a lot of direct disses, there's a lot of features, and it's a banging album, but it's like, give me time to digest it first, and then you come out with this other thing. So, okay. So she has 2 parts of the album. The first one was 6 or 7 songs. How many songs are going to be on the second part?
We're not too sure yet, but probably the same amount.
When does it drop?
Have a clue. It's gonna drop within a few months. I want to say either October or it might be sooner than that, or she might move up the date. But I'm thinking that she's gonna move up the date, so maybe within the next 3 months we'll see something. Because Tinashe is getting to the point now where she's probably gonna do a surprise drop and just drop the whole album. And I hope she actually does that. I hope that she does that. But this video that she released,
that's what I want to know.
The choreography, just the looks, to be dancing in the desert at 12 a.m. like full routine, and I mean like killing that shit, and to drop a song this good, it's gonna be the summertime anthem. Like, if you have not heard it, you're gonna hear it within the next few days, whether that's from me, which most likely it will be,
or I know that I'm gonna get a direct link after this.
Oh, podcast. Absolutely. If you guys don't know, it's gonna be on my story. Like, I'm gonna post it throughout the week. It's just really good. Chloe Bailey also dropped, and that's an honorable mention. Um, yeah.
Shout out to Chloe Bailey.
Yeah, shout out to Chloe Bailey.
That's good. That's okay. So you had two. I only have one. This is obviously someone that we frequent a lot on this podcast. No, it's not Beyonce. I know. But I just think that she's our forever Black excellence, especially with that Cowboy Carter event that they had in like Berlin. When I say they put that shit on, baby. Anyways, okay, so my actual Black excellence is Tia Mowry. She just announced that she is going to have a reality show about her life after divorce and, living La Vida Loca on We TV. So I'm definitely going to be able to tune in. It's not it's going to be on All Black, but I don't have All Black. I never had All Black. I love WeTV. Obviously, I'm going to be able to set my DVR and I'm going to be able to see it. I know that Tia, we just love her. We love her. That's Melody. It's sister. It's Tia Mowry. It's the twins, honey. But also, I'm just very interested to see how her life is after this divorce. I want to see her dating. I want to see her as a mom. I want to see just where she is mentally. I want to see if she is open to, more like different roles. What is life like after, or during your mid 40s and you've had the family and you've been the breadwinner for so long and now you're back in the dating pool? I know that I felt sad. I know a lot of people were just mad, and I don't understand. A lot of people shifted blame on Tia for ending her marriage. But I just feel like we don't know what really happened. We always saw them and they looked like they were a beautiful couple. Their two was always the breadwinner, but that doesn't have to necessarily always be the problem. Maybe that there were things that we didn't know that were happening underneath that we can find out about in this show. Back in the day, they did have the Tia and Tamara show on E! I just like to put those episodes on just as background noises. I would be open for Tamara showing up on some episodes, but I just want to see Tia, love on her, see what she's up to, make sure she's getting that bag, and hopefully she's going on dates and enjoying single life as just one of our legends. She has just always been such a central part of the culture, and everyone gives them their flowers, but Tia especially gets her flowers a little bit more. We don't know why.
Because she's the Black Summer House.
She's Martha's Vineyard.
She's Martha's Vineyard, and Tamara is regular Summer House.
And we love both of them, just in different ways.
Exactly. And when they're together, it's like Winter House.
Right. Perfect analogy there. Are you gonna watch the show?
Oh, absolutely. I love Tia.
What's the coy smile about, you guys, if you're not watching the YouTube?
What do you mean? Oh, I love Tia.
Just had a smile.
I love Tia.
My twin's big like Tia Tamara.
Yeah, but I'm excited about that. I really did enjoy the Tia Tamara show that they did together. That was a huge part of my childhood. Aside from Sister, because that was like reality TV sister. And I just love when Tia used to get into Tamara's ass. Like, that was my favorite part.
It's insane that they played on the show. Tamara's the free spirited, cool, stylish one, and Tia's more the nerdy, preserved one. And then in real life, it couldn't be more different. So that was like really the gag when we watched the reality show. I'm like, oh my God, Tia is Tamara and Tamara is Tia. So
Right.
that was just
Yeah.
insane to even just like, watch. So I'm excited. Love that. And I can't wait for also, I don't know when this is coming back or if it's coming back to WeTV. I prefer maybe not come to WeTV, maybe maybe OWN, I feel is the best avenue. But whenever the Braxton show comes back, we absolutely will be watching it. Exactly. Thank you. They are coming back. I don't know what network. I don't know what they're filming now. I don't know what's happening, but we love us some Tony Braxton. Down.
Absolutely.
Down. Like,
Absolutely.
especially Tony. Like, Tony.
That's my
Tony,
girl.
the woman that you are.
She
That's
already
it.
know. Also, Good Times is out, guys. Like, and have you watched?
Not yet. I know that I was planning to, and then I saw there's backlash about it.
Oh, there is. Yeah.
And especially coming from an original Good Times character. So Thelma came out and
Oh,
was like,
yeah.
I do not approve of this.
I
So
don't
I don't
either.
know. At first I had thought like, oh, this could be cool. Like, like let me support it because it's black. But then I'm looking at
Yeah.
like the producers and the writers, and I'm like, these people are not black at
Black
all.
at all.
And then the way that the characters are, I think they possibly modernized it. And I don't know if
Yeah.
that's it. Tell me about it though.
So it is supposed to be about the grandkids of the Good Times that we've seen, like the main cast. I want to say these are James Evans. That's the grandson, and his name is Junior. And he has his own kids and he has his wife. So it is a daughter, it's a son, and then it's this baby, which is also his son. But the baby talks and the baby sells
Okay.
drugs outside of the house. So I think I'm like, wait, what? Because the way they show the show, like the first 5 to 10 minutes, you're focused on the family that's in the house. And I'm like, oh, okay, this isn't bad. This is pretty normal. But then you meet the baby, and this baby is like out selling drugs, like hard down dope slanging. And you're just like, wait a minute, what's
Okay. So I'm wondering
what's that
because
about?
I am from a class of like I really enjoy Baby's Kids. You know,
If
stuff
you enjoy
like
that, then you might enjoy this.
Baby's Kids is like one of
Yeah.
my I would never admit this other than, me, you, and the people that are listening. Baby's Kids is probably in my top 10. It's not gonna be in my top four, but Baby's Kids is on rotation. But the thing about Baby's Kids, the difference is that we had legendary black actors behind
Mm.
it and starring in it. So that doesn't really give me pause because also if we think about it, Good Time. I don't remember a single episode of Good Times where it was a good time. It was
No,
like
it
we are poor, we are suffering.
Yeah. Like every now and then they had like a good episode where like somebody would do a dance and they'd be like, that's jive.
Well,
But like,
yeah, but I'm talking about like actual
yeah,
good times.
for the most part, it was like it was struggling and then making the best of what they had. And I do think that this show would have had a chance had it been its own separate thing, but the fact that it's connected to a show like Good Times, which is so like that's like like even though they're from the ghetto and the family isn't well off, it's still such a
We still learn
big show in our
lessons.
culture. Yeah,
Yeah, we still hold it to a high standard.
a high standard. Yeah. So seeing this spinoff, it's kind of like, it feels disrespectful watching it, which is why I can't get with it because I do believe
Okay.
that Good Times left a legacy, and if the original cast doesn't approve of it, then I can approve of it.
Exactly.
I just
I
can't.
was like, I don't know if I shared it or not. I was like, oh, okay, I can't wait. I can't wait to see what this is about. And then I heard that Seth Curry was supposed to be connected to it. So I'm like, okay, so Curry is black. But then more stuff started coming out about it. And then it's Steph Curry, the basketball player. And then Seth MacFarlane, who's the producer of Family Guy, The Cleveland Show, Ted.
Right.
I don't mind that he has a hand in it because he has a lot of experience with producing shows, but I don't think that he should be an executive producer on it. I think it needs to
Yeah.
be more Black people putting this on.
I wanted to see more people that were a part of the original show. And I know the show is old, so most of those people are probably not able to
Yeah.
do it or not here with us anymore. But it just needed to be somebody that just had a little bit more understanding and respect for the original show, because I feel like if they came in, it would have been a lot different than what we're seeing now. We wouldn't have had a talking baby that sells drugs, and I think everything would have been more respectful, because it's just it's crossing the line. That's how I feel when I'm watching it. I'm like, oh, this is too much. Like I could see Florida Evans now, like,
I'm thinking about like the Boondocks and like
yeah.
other shows, that are towing that line of like comedy and real. The
I think the
PJs
Boondocks might be even be a little bit,
tame compared to that.
yeah.
Yeah, so I think that I can't get behind this. I don't even know if I'm gonna like check it out, especially after seeing Thelma say no. Cause it's like you don't go against Thelma.
She said, hell no.
Like
Fuck
that's
no.
the real tea. You don't go against Thelma. But I just don't know how they could have done it. Like even with what you're saying, I still don't see how it could have worked out.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no way. It's just hard. They would just have to change the whole premise of the show. And I think had they added like a more serious tone where it shows you actual life lessons and they modernized it with the same respect that they had and integrity that they had with the original series, I think it would have been great.
Yeah, I just don't know how. Maybe it should have just been a different show
Yeah.
completely. And then even when I saw it, I was excited, but at the same time, I'm like, Good Times as a cartoon is hard to translate. And then also, what is the story going to be here? Like, do we really
And I think
read it?
even the animation style is just really goofy to me. Like I wanted a more like not that.
Child. Well, I think instead of that, I'm going to finish Hair Love. I think it's called on HBO Max because I think I started that. It's with Kid Cudi and Issa Rae. Is that what it's called?
Oh.
That's the one that came out. Let me see if I got it right. Okay, maybe that's not it. But there's a show with Issa Rae and Kid Cudi that I'm going to look up. Young Love. It's called Young Love, and they play a couple, and they have a child. And Kid Cudi's character, he makes beats. Issa Rae's character, she is obviously a mother, but she's also a hairstylist. And I think that's why I was like, oh, it's Hair Love.
Mhm.
Hair Love is that other book
Oh
slash video series.
yeah.
But
See?
she had cancer, so she's trying to figure out how to come back to, and I think even Loretta Devine is on it, I believe, too. So it's like an all-star cast, and it was also produced by Issa Rae. So it was interesting to watch, especially her trying to figure out where she belongs and how to get back to work and how to stop getting everyone to, treat her with like kid gloves because it is such a stressful situation to come back from cancer and like everyone's just like, are you okay? Are you okay? And I definitely understand that. So I think that I started it and I watched like 5 episodes and it was really good. And I like that Kid Cudi, he's really in his acting bag and living out his dreams because, he gets to do all these different things. So I think I'm going to give my love to that instead of the Good Times reboot. And I want Seth MacFarlane or is it Jimmy Kimmel? Who is producing Good Times? Because I know it was a white man.
That's a good question.
Who is producing? Because I don't even want to get in Seth MacFarlane's ass if he's not doing it. So yeah,
good.
Norman Lear's, Stephen Curry, and Seth MacFarlane.
Yeah.
Okay, good. I have been getting into. I was so scared it was going to say Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah, no, not Jimmy Kimmel. Please.
I know he did something, and I was like, "What is Jimmy Kimmel do?"
Yeah, but they produced it. And yeah, it's gonna get canceled most likely.
They want to crazy.
Yeah, it's that one, the one in the hallway, and then the closet one.
That won't work.
Turn it on. I think that one. Yeah, that is fully working. You gonna change them now?
Yeah, I'm going back.
Okay. Okay, so we're probably gonna have to pause the podcast for like a few minutes because
Yeah,
the
you're
ones
fine.
he has to change is like in multiple areas, so he's gonna be in the background doing it.
All right, hold on. Let me. So yeah, it's Norman Lear, Steph Curry, and Seth MacFarlane for sure. They're the ones who produced the Good Times on Netflix.
Okay, sorry, Jimmy Kimmel. I brought your name up to slander because I thought that I was saying the wrong name because I had saw Jimmy Kimmel's name on one thing, but it's actually Seth MacFarlane, like I've been saying earlier. Seth MacFarlane, like I said, Family Guy. I'm still mad about the Cleveland show. He is good at animation and comedy and shit like that. But instead of worrying about a Good Times, I think that he needs to worry about Ted because that Ted series on Peacock, that shit's funny as hell, and that's more in his wheelhouse.
Yeah.
So worry about that instead of Good Times. And I don't know. You think it's going to be do you think it's going to get renewed or what?
No.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I think they're actually going to snatch that shit off soon. Like, I feel like even though the whole season is out, they're just going to be like, no, never mind.
Fade it into the background.
Because it's insane. Like, I don't know what they were thinking with that. A
literal crack baby.
I don't know what they were talking about with that. Like, we're just freely doing cocaine and shit.
Oh my God. Well, to be fair, that's how I felt when I was watching what's it called, Bel Air, and Carlton was just randomly snorting cocaine, and I was like, I know that in the show that he
Mariah Huck voice, cocaine,
but they turned that around, and Will Smith is actually producing that, and it's a good Bel Air is a good ass show, so that's the difference here.
I still gotta get caught up on the second season because I kind of fell off after the first one, but I do gotta get caught up.
Yeah. But anyways, okay, we have to actually get back into Abbott Elementary after a few weeks of, I think primetime shows. They go on breaks. They are back. I know they will be taking another break after the next new episode, I believe. I don't know why, but I don't think that break is going to be very long. But this is going to be like a full, I think, 22 episode season. So I'm pretty excited about that, kind of like Young Sheldon and Big Bang Theory and all those things. But we are back, and Janine has been offered a permanent position at the district.
I hate it.
Me too.
Immediately, I was like, please let this shit not work out because I don't want to see her leave her actual job. In which I think that they're leaning towards her coming back to the schoolhouse because every time they get really deep into it, she's like, I need to think about it. I need a day.
Yeah, even at the end of this episode, she was like, wait, before I sign my papers. But, she gets distracted because at school, there is a kid named Alex, and that's the title of the episode. It's called Alex, that Gregory, he used to have as a student, and this student used to never, ever, ever miss school, and all of a sudden he has 8 unexcused absences, and when you get to 10 unexcused absences, you have to go to court and you get expelled, and that's not what we want for this poor little baby. So Gregory, which I love to see, gets very invested, and he tries to call and see what's going on, and the grandma is like, yes, Alex is here watching The Price is Right. That shit was so funny. But he's like, you need to make sure that this child comes to school, but the grandma cannot hear. She ends up hanging up. Gregory tells Janine what's going on, and it turns out that he doesn't want to come to school because he misses his teacher, who, of course, is Janine. And they are talking about it with the substitute teacher because it's the substitute teacher who brings it up. And we get a cameo from Jabria of,
Jabria, from
Are You Smart? From
what's
TikTok.
his name?
Oh, I only know Bria, but yeah.
LaRon Hines. LaRon
Oh
Hines.
my God.
There you go.
Shout out to LaRon. Yeah. I love seeing this cameo. It's so cute. She's already such a good actress. Like, she is eating.
Yeah, she is.
Really, her comedic timing is already on point for such a young age. This is her professional acting debut. It couldn't be at a better place as a student, because it's always like, are you smart? And she is very smart.
Yes.
So I love seeing that. There's another storyline playing in the back with, what's his name?
Jake.
Yes. And he is just like, do you read my newsletters? And he sends out newsletters. And they actually respond to them. Miss Howard and Miss Shimenti respond to them via AI because they're, introducing, and this is in real life too. It's nothing new though. If you guys have gone to like college or even some high schools have it. There was this thing back in the day that it would detect when you steal people's plagiarism. Mm-hmm. There was plagiarism, software. Now we have the point where, okay, you don't got to worry about nobody plagiarizing, but you have to worry about someone possibly doing their homework with AI. So so he is showing them that, hey, I can see if you use AI on your homework. And he finds out that the emails that he's been being sent by Ms. Shimenti and Ms. Howard are actually AI responses. And he confronts them and they're like, we're sorry, but your newsletters are so long and boring. And instead of not responding, we just let AI respond. And he's hurt by that. Meanwhile, also, Principal Ava, she was a star for me this episode, because this episode wasn't really that funny. There were some funny moments, but I think that this whole district thing is just kind of...
They need to stop it. They need to cut it out. Take it off the show.
Yeah, so Principal Ava, she is now looking for another teacher because Janine is going to take the job as a full-time district person, district staff, faculty member, whatever the fuck you call it. And she's doing like auditions for a new teacher, and she finds a woman who is absolutely just like her. So hilarious. And we get to meet her. She probably won't stick around because I feel like Janine's going to come back, or hopefully we maybe get her like a few episodes, because I would love to have two Avas around, because Ava's obviously the highlight of the episode, and they play off of each other very well. We also find out that, later on, that Jake actually responded to a newsletter, which is quarterly instead of like weekly, from the janitor, and he used AI. And it's a gag because you are getting on Miss Shimenti and Mrs. Howard about using AI, but you use AI to respond to the janitor's newsletter. And that newsletter ends up being a very important newsletter. So that's just a lesson that we learn with them. He stops using the AI, and I don't think he stopped sending out the email, but that was a thing. So Janine and Gregory end up going to the student's house. The grandma is there watering flowers, and they're like, listen, we're here because Alex needs to come to school. And she's like, Alex is fine. He's in there watching Price is Right with Drew Carey. Like, he doesn't have to go to school. You don't want to. And they go and they explain to Alex, like, hey, things are going to change. People are not always going to be around you, and you have to adapt to that. And you still have to live your life, even though the people in it might change. And it was just hinting at, what was going on with Janine and Gregory, because Gregory was the last to know. He actually found out during that conversation that Janine accepted the position at the district. And so he has a little program that he does with the students in Bay Garden. And he's like, okay, what about if you come to school and you can join this little group that we have after school? And I will always have an eye on you, even though Janine won't be there. So that's how they get him back at school. We see him back in school, and then they kind of hint that Janine is pulled in two different directions, because the reason that Alex is not coming to school is because she's not there. And also, it's time to sign those papers for a permanent position. So that was the episode. It wasn't like the funniest, but it definitely pissed me off because I thought that this would be the episode where she would be coming back to the school. But hopefully that's what it's hinting at, if not soon, because I really don't want it to become like, you know, that's what it has become already, when Jim went to the other office.
And I hated
I didn't even like that on the office. So don't split that shit. Like, bring everybody back. Even if you want to bring the new characters back somehow, they can drop in as the district more. Like, they can drop in, but she needs to be a teacher. She needs to be there all the time. She needs to be a present energy. And I hope that this maybe is just Quinna, like, you know, maybe she's filming a movie and she can't really be on set like that, or she's working on another project. And then when she's done with that, she's ready to come back, because I'm ready for her to come back. And I said this from the beginning. I thought it was too early for her to leave like that. And it's become true. So how did you like the episode?
Oh, it was nice. I agree with everything you said. It was lackluster, but really good for Abbott Elementary. You know, I did think after a break, the episode was going to be a little bit more, humorous. A little something, you know. So I felt like something was definitely lacking, and I do want Janine to return as immediately, because I'm tired of the whole district storyline. I didn't really give a fuck about the AI storyline at all. Actually, they could have kept that part. I was just like, I don't know who wrote this. But the Janine part and the Gregory part was really cute. I like that. I like the beat.
So what would you rate it?
A 6.
Yeah, 6. Because I don't have the heart to give it a 5.
Yeah.
You know what?
So yours is really a 5.
Jabria made it a 6, though. Jabria made it a 6.
Okay, fair.
She's like, you're coloring a carrot. She's like, Alex not coming to school, so does that mean we don't have to come to school? Like, her logic was making sense. So
it was. Yeah, y'all. So that's Abbott. Hopefully you guys are watching. Let's get into it, y'all.
Okay.
It's Man 97. This was a hell of an episode. Like, I honestly think this episode deserves a moment of silence, but I really don't have time for that. So pause this and take 10 seconds and then press play, because so many people lost their life on this episode. It was just unexpected. And before I even watched that, I did see somebody on Twitter and they're like, I'm crying. I'm literally crying. And I'm like, oh my gosh,
you're
what
being
happened?
Dramatic. Like, what are you talking about?
What happened on there? I didn't even expect that. And then when you start off the episode, it's like this whole MTV like documentary type of feel. I felt like Oprah Winfrey was interviewing everybody, but everybody's getting ready for the gala in Genosha. And if you guys don't know, Genosha is the place where Magneto created just specifically for mutants to live. So now it's used for like the old show, it was a bad place, but on 97, it's a really good place, and all the mutants seem to be happy. So pretty much this episode is about a peace treaty between humans and mutants. That's really what it's been since the show started, just like a ongoing battle. So we're seeing Cyclops, we're seeing Jean Grey, we're seeing Wolverine, Jean and Wolverine might have something going on, but it's really because Jean does not feel connected to Scott. She's still pissed off. She's upset because Scott left and Scott only cares about this baby. And he really has a connection with Madeline, which they get into because she pops up in his head and she's like, "What the fuck you got going on?"
That's the real tea. He's been
Mm-hmm.
he's been psychically communicating just when you thought.
I thought that shit was funny too because they were having like a nice like filet mignon and just like talking and having a good old time, and that bitch just popped up from the sky and was like, "Hey, the fuck you got going on?"
Because we've been psychically communicating. And that's another thing that y'all need to watch out for, ladies and girls. Your man may be psychically communicating with another bitch.
I agree. I immediately that's what I thought of. I'm just like, couldn't be me. Because if I found that out,
Hmm.
it's gonna be hell to pay.
Hmm.
Hell to pay. The main I really want to call this the not the Wolverine. I really want to call this the Rogue and Gambit episode, honestly, because we really seen Rogue shine. Like she's going through this love affair between her, Magneto, and Gambit. She doesn't know who to choose. She's kind of leaning towards Magneto because, as you know, that they can touch and she can have a physical relationship with him, which is all she's ever wanted, honestly, because because of her powers, she can't really do that. So with Magneto, he can control her powers and their powers cancel each other out. So it's like now they fucking all the time.
And we saw how they ended up like meeting. Remember, we were like, when did that even happen? They
Yeah.
showed us exactly when it happened.
They showed us some time ago. So she's caught up a rock in a hard place. That's really what it is. And she comes to Gambit and she's like, "You best sit down for this one, sugar."
Yeah.
And from that time, I knew it was gonna be some shit. And she's pretty much telling Gambit, "Hey, listen, me and him, we've been doing it real bad. And we got a lot going on." And I was just like, "Girl, you don't have to tell your whole life story. Why are you telling this to this man? Just tell him you don't want to be with him." But she
Because
told
she wants
him,
him.
yeah, she told him her whole life story, but she's like, "I guess I gotta go rule the world with Magneto because that's what's gonna happen, and I gotta stand by his side." So she comes downstairs. She got this new dress on. Her and Magneto dance. They share a dance together. And it's really one of the hottest scenes that I've seen in an animated series ever. Like, I want to say, I can confidently say ever. Like, that dance was
It
just so
was giving,
beautiful. It
yeah.
was romantic. It was just like the lust. Literally, Lucia and the Good Doctor.
That's exactly what was
That's what
going
this
on.
gave me. And of course, after the dance, she was like, "You know what, sugar, I can't do this. I gotta be with Gambit." Because
She kisses him and she
yeah,
is like, okay, well, touch is literally not even.
it's not even that deep. She's like, "I have more of a romantic and mental connection with Gambit. So this ain't really shit to me." So she goes over to Gambit, and of course, Gambit is happy about it. So we see Madeline Pryor. We're also introduced to Emma Frost in this episode, and she looks really good. She has a blonde bob. It was
She's a
nice to
bad
see her.
bitch.
She's a baddie. She's a baddie with her baddie friend.
Period.
And so we see Madeline Pryor. We see Cable, who comes out of nowhere, and he's like, "Hey,
That's where the shit starts.
listen, the shit is about to go down. He's coming." And Madeline's like, "Who's coming?" And she realizes it's Cable. She's like, "Cable?" Which is her son, but in the future. So there are so many emotions happening right now, and out of nowhere, shit explodes and gets real. Madeline flies to the back of the room. She gone. She dead. Mutants are falling out. Everybody is flying to the ground. The world's exploding. Like it was like some Attack on Titan type shit. We
I ain't
see
never seen no
this.
shit like this. Well, okay, I actually just finished watching Invincible, and this happens
Mhm.
very often. But like in Disney, I ain't never seen, or the Marvel universe, I ain't never seen no shit like this was crazy.
It was crazy. And then how they just kept blacking out the screen. I'm
And
like,
the sound
who
is
is
cutting in
doing
and
this?
out.
Yeah. Who is doing this? Because it's like they are really giving me a show. Whoever decided to do that, give them a raise now and just have them do everything. Because that was just amazing. And seeing everybody get attacked, seeing the X-Men who we've seen at their most powerful state be just like weakened and tossed to the side like it was nothing. That was the craziest thing about it. I think seeing Magneto struggle with trying to save people, trying to save Rogue, and seeing him lose his life, which they hinted at. But honestly, I don't think Magneto's dead because obviously he's gonna come back. That's the whole thing. But as far as those people under him that he protected, they gone. That's
There were
it.
so many mutants, like so many different mutants from the comics, from the old series, from the
Right.
live action. Every scene there was a mutant, and then obviously a big part was Leech came back, and
Leech.
like the what is it? What are they called? The Morlocks or something like
Yeah, I want to say.
that.
Um,
Yeah,
but Leech was like scared as hell. And Magneto comforted him, spoke to him in German, and he's like, listen, don't be afraid. Because right
that shit
now,
was crazy.
it's about to go down. Like you're about to see some shit.
And then Gambit comes and he does like the fucking Akira slide on the motorcycle. That was
Absolutely. And him and the Rogue are fleeing. They are doing this together. They're kicking ass. They're trying to see what's up with the Sentinels. Like, it's a lot going on. And those bitches are like, boop, boop, mutant detected. And as soon as you're detected, you're done.
Gambit pushes Rogue out of the way, and then like a fucking Sentinel stabs him, and then he uses that like energy to charge it and like blow it up. But then
Uh,
like it's I can okay. First of all, Gambit is one of the sexiest animated characters
mhm.
ever. Like in this episode specifically, it's something about him getting dressed up and also being Captain Save-A-Ho, and just, I don't know, Gambit is sexy. But then he used that power for good, and he also was down for Rogue like until the motherfucking end. And even when he was, killing the Sentinel or whatever, he was like, "Listen, mon ami, remember it's Gambit." And I'm just like,
And I thought
but
that was beautiful because of the title. It related a lot to the title of the episode.
yep,
I'm just like, wow. And just to see Rogue's hurt and how both of the people, the two men that she loved like the most, were destroyed,
yep,
annihilated.
yeah.
That was just hard to watch.
She had to like well, she didn't have to. She went to touch him and she couldn't feel anything. So that meant that he has no pulse.
I can't feel it.
Like her southern accent was gone. She was like, I can't feel anything. You fucked up when you have like the thickest southern accent and
And
all of
now
a
it's
sudden
just
that shit
like
is
this
gone.
gone.
You're talking like fucking Elon Musk. Like, what?
Get out of here, Elon.
And I'm just
Did
like,
you say Elon
Rogue.
Musk?
Have you ever heard that motherfucker talk? Like he just doesn't know what to
I can't
say
feel
when
anything.
I'm just like, bro. And then you just hear, you don't even hear anything. It's just complete like silence. And
Silence.
do you think Gambit is coming back? Can you confirm, deny? What are the rumors?
I
What are the
mean,
streets
I
saying?
do. Okay, so I'll say this. They are saying that, of course, and this happens frequently, the X-Men gonna have to go back in time and they're gonna have to do some shit. Like that's really what's gonna have to happen.
Okay.
And right
Okay.
now, the next episode is allegedly, and I know I told you this before, but they say for real, it's supposed to focus on Storm. This one is going to be the one that focuses on Storm because Storm honestly has to come back. Like now, they don't
Well,
really have a
look
choice.
at what the fuck just happened.
They don't have a choice. Wolverine, the team is Wolverine, Jean, Cyclops. I want to say Beast, um, Jubilee, and that boy. I can't remember his name, but I really don't know what he's gonna do. And Forge, not Forge, the one that plays around with Wolverine, Morph. And they check this out too. They hinted at the fact that Wolverine might be gay.
Hey.
They hinted at the fact that him and Morph might have a little something going on.
Because I know that Morph is non-binary.
Yeah. And Morph has been kind of hanging out with Wolverine a lot.
Here for it. Maybe that's why he was like, you know what, Jean, actually, fuck you, because now I'm over you and you're trying to kiss me under this water. But I got my own lover.
I think that's where Wolverine's head is at. But it's very sad to see. I want to see Storm come back. I know that Cable is going to have his own few episodes which focuses on him. Maybe they're going to explore what happened while he was, like how he was brought up in the future, and a little bit about how he became Cable, like this badass with this big ass gun. I would like to see it. So we got to figure out what's going on. It's getting listen, this was the best episode.
I was not, and you guys, I gave that last episode a 6, and I was just like, if this is not about Storm, keep it. I was disgusted at the beginning, but I was watching at the corner of my eye. About 3 minutes in, though, I was like, hold on, what about this? 5 minutes in, all in. By the end of that show, my heart was beating so fast. This episode was a 10 out of 10.
Agreed.
Give me my 10.
I think once it got to Rogue's part where she was like, you better sit down for this, sugar.
She was warning us too.
Let me sit my ass down. Like as soon as she said it, I was like, whoa, what the hell is going on? Because Rogue don't say that. Like,
so I was also, she's a free willing spirit. She's the one who's like,
you better
cracking
sit
jokes
down for this shit.
And she's an optimist, baby. They're saying that like the Watcher was in the sky.
Yes.
Also
looking at them like a creepy ass. It was creepy. I don't understand what the point of that was, but I was like, okay.
Yeah, I don't know who that is though, so it didn't mean nothing to me. I didn't even notice.
What are you gonna do too? I was really happy. Honorable mention Nightcrawler, because I love me some Nightcrawler to death. Like, and I was just very happy to see him back, because if you need to get somewhere and you need to get somewhere fast, Nightcrawler is the guy to take you.
Absolutely.
Like if you have an appointment with housing and it's like at 11 o'clock, you just tell Nightcrawler what time your appointment is. If you have a doctor's appointment, if you have an appointment with Wick, get your ass.
You need to do a Nightcrawler. You need you a Nightcrawler.
He was like, give me about 2 minutes, I'll get you.
That's perfect. Jersey Shore ain't shit happened. Ron finally came. He said hi to Sam, and they didn't speak for the rest of the episode. So I'm sorry, but that's what happened on Jersey Shore. Do you want to add anything? Okay, well that's it. End of the episode. Because X-Men was just so good that I'm just like, y'all need to go, and I think you guys should rewatch the episode and just like rewatch it from a different angle. And it's just insane. I also saw something that said that they figured out like when they switched Jean, when they duplicated Jean, it was after the Phoenix saga, because In this one, Madeline says that she didn't get, or it might not have been this episode, but she said that she didn't get the powers from the Phoenix. So that means that it happened after she was the Phoenix.
Damn.
So that's the timeline.
I also have a theory that they still might be switched.
Ooh.
I also have that
so
theory
mad?
just because it's like, you remember when she was in that little like thing and she was kind of like looking at her memories and she's like, I can't really sort out which ones are mine and which ones are Madeline. So I'm like, are you guys still switched?
Or they just don't fucking know.
Because I would like to believe that, because then it would be Jean and Cyclops' son and it would be Cable.
Yeah.
And then Madeline would probably get pissed off because she was like, damn.
Well, are they bringing Madeline back? Because didn't she get her head blown off?
Yeah, she got blown across the damn room. And I guess that took her ass out.
As long as they bring back Gambit, I don't give a fuck. They don't have to bring back Magneto.
I also was kind of like blown away at the fact that Madeline died so easily. Like, this lady who turned into like this baddie, it almost destroyed everybody.
Queen.
The Goblin Queen just got like thrown across the room like Bella Swan, and she's dead.
What? I mean,
She's
Cable
like,
was coming to warn her. She was like, Mom. Oh God, it was just such a good episode, you guys. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Y'all have a good week. We'll be back for the Bravo episode, and I hope that you guys are enjoying my solo episodes. Hit up our Patreon, patreon.com/BravoWhileBlack, and we love you. Bye.
Bye, y'all.